At this time, I'd like to welcome Mayor Pedro E. Segarra to the stage to start the speaking portion of tonight's program. So please help me welcome Mayor Segarra.
Thank you so much. This is such a great turnout. I'm really proud of you and proud of the city and proud of all these wonderful collaborations that we're establishing to make sure that Hartford becomes the center of gravity for a lot of good things to come. So thank you so much for being here. What can I say? I'm just so proud that we've been able to collaborate. I'm so thankful to the governor for having the vision of creating the program from which this product and this project was born from. Kip, who's here, Will Wilkins from Real Outways, so many people that are here, too many to mention, but I know that you all know that you had a part to play in this, and it's really important. I just wanted to when I look at the Charter Oak Tree and I think about the role that Hartford had to play in the development of democracy and in constitutional government, and how the roots of that Charter Oak Tree and how its branches have spread throughout the world to places as recently as 5-6 months ago that have known democracy for the very first time. How proud I am to be the mayor of Hartford, and how proud I am of being a part of this celebration today. I just been asked to wanted to say that a top priority of definitely my administration has been promotion of arts, culture, and tourism to our city, because I think we have a lot of great things to offer. And as we look forward to Coltsville, and we look forward to other projects that we have going on, and the iQuilt and so many other things, I really look forward to continuing to have more of these meetings. And believe me, these meetings are starting to become more and more frequent, which is a good thing. I want to thank a couple of people who have been very important to this effort, and that's the owners of this building, 215 Pearl Street, which I just saw inside for the very first time. And if you're a spiritual person like I am, and you walk into a temple like this, you really get the waves, the frequency of the energy that's in there. And that's Marty Levitz and Tom Boyle. Thank you so much for making sure that we have access to this great venue and this great building. And I also want to thank the AT&T Connecticut president, Rodney Smith. We were having a chat and just really enjoying everything that's happening. But most importantly, I want to thank each and every one of you, which in some small way is adding to the mix of making great things happen. So thank you so much, and I appreciate you being here. And thank you so much again. Thank you. And I want to introduce a partner in crime. I don't know if that's a good term for me to use, but and that's our Commissioner of Culture and Tourism, Kip. I'm sorry, Kip Bergstrom, a man of great stature, and a man who really wants to make sure that we get the message across that Connecticut still is revolutionary. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. So I was at Fox News this morning talking about our new commercial for the brand Still Revolutionary. So that's why I'm wearing the colors. But I thought it made sense for this event as well, because art is revolutionary. In fact, art is absolutely the most revolutionary thing we ever did as a species. It was 40,000 years ago. We put our hands up on a cave wall and blew red pigment around them. And we said, this is our place. We are here. And we also said to whoever was listening and paying attention in the world that a new creature was walking the planet with a brain that was capable of conceptual thinking. And from that very first crude cave painting to our most modern science, the discovery of the Higgs boson particle is one brain capable of conceptual thinking, one creative process. We are art. That is who we are as a species. And our highest calling as a species is to make places, like they did in that first cave, and as Hartford and Adam are doing on the wall of this deconsecrated synagogue. So, on Monday, I was at a naturalization ceremony with Will Wilkins and with Adam Miklowitz, the artist, and we were helping to welcome into American citizenship 30 folks from around the world who were proving what Adam proves in his own work, our state motto. Absolutely the coolest motto in the world. Qui transtulit sustinet, which in modern American parlance means where the immigrant prospers. Where the immigrants prosper. So we have been prospering here, all of us sons and daughters of immigrants, unless you happen to be Algonquin. We have been prospering here for 350 years. And part of the reason why in Connecticut we have a steady habit of revolutionary thought and action is that we got a 150-year head start on the rest of the country in constitutional government. We invented it not just for the country but for the world in our fundamental orders 152 years before the U.S. Constitution, whose birthday was also on Monday. Constitutions are what give diverse people the confidence and the trust to take risks. As the Chinese are finding, without the rule of law, there is no innovation. Risk-taking comes from the stability of a constitution. We had a 150-year head start on everyone else on that, and it gave us this pattern, this habit of revolutionary thought and action. And in our landscape, all around us, etched into the landscape are the marks of our ancestors who have innovated, and they inspire us to leave our mark and innovate in our own way. So I was talking about our brand, Still Revolutionary, in June at an event in Bolton on the Washington-Rochambeau Revolutionary Route, the path of the Two Generals Victory March to Yorktown that goes the breadth of Connecticut. And after the event, I talked to this guy who's the commander of something called Sheldon's Second Light Dragoons, which is a revolutionary reenactment unit of the first unit of the American Cavalry, which was a Connecticut regiment, Washington's personal bodyguard, and communication corps. And he came up to me after the event and he said, "I really like the new brand." And I said, "Why is that?" And he said, "Because you get it." "Well, what do you mean?" He says, "Well, you get what all reenactors know." And I said, "What's that?" He said, "That the revolution never ended." That the revolution never ended. So I was just struck by that, and it reminded me of a conversation that I had had maybe 30 years ago, 25 years ago, with another Adam from Poland, Adam Michnik, who was the editor of something called Gazeta Warszawa, which is the largest daily in Europe. And he was a solidarity activist, and he was jailed during martial law as a dissident. And then later, after the Soviets left, Solidarity actually won the first election. And Adam was concerned that his compatriots were becoming complacent, that they'd actually thought they'd finished what they'd started. So he wrote this famous op-ed, and he paraphrased it to me at dinner that night, and I've remembered it ever since. It kind of got burnt into my brain, and the key ideas are these. Democracy is not a noun, it's a verb. It's a never-ending process. It's not something that you have, it's something that you make every day. Now, Adam's mural of our charter oak, our icon of our democracy, where constitutional government was invented and protected in its trunk. This mural, this interactive mural that appears when you water it and disappears as it dries, reminds us that democracy is something that you have to water every day. It's the most powerful, by far, of our city canvas installations, all of which are wonderful in 6 other cities around the state. 7 months ago, a group of arts leaders got together and said, what can we do to show the power that art has to transform our cities? What can we do quickly? They said, how quickly? I said, well, 6 months. They said, you're crazy. And what Adam and other artists and other organizations around the state showed is that they could do it, and they did do it, and they've done phenomenal works of art of all kinds, mosaics, light art, murals, phenomenal stuff, and you should see it all. We have it at our gallery over at 1 Constitution Plaza. We have images of the work. Now, one of the things that we required when we funded City Canvas, we required a partnership between a city and local arts organizations. You heard from the mayor. Who you're going to hear from now are 2 of the local arts organization partners that made this possible. One is Will Wilkins, the executive director of Real Artways, and the other is Patricia Hickson, who's the curator of contemporary art at the Wadsworth Atheneum. Now, the Wadsworth is the oldest museum in the country, oldest art museum, but it was also the first museum to stage an exhibit of modern art, sending shockwaves through the art community when it did it, showing that you can be historic and innovative. Of course, Real Artways was from its birth raw and still is. So I give you Will and Patricia.
Thank you, Kip. I'd like to thank the state of Connecticut for providing a unique opportunity for the Wadsworth Atheneum to collaborate with the City of Hartford and Real Artways with the Greater Hartford Arts Council on this monumental public art project with Adam Nikolowitz. In developing the project with Adam, we discussed the idea of applying the model of his water-activated tree image to Connecticut's historically significant charter oak tree. What a wonderful surprise it was, an honor it was, when Adam presented his design, which embraced the tree depicted in the mid-19th century charter oak painting by Charles DeWolf Brownell in the collection of the Wadsworth Atheneum. This painting is currently on view in the main entrance lobby of the museum. The Wadsworth itself was established in the mid-19th century with a collection of then contemporary American art, largely the museum's Hudson River School collection. So the museum has always been engaged with contemporary art. This dialogue between the past and the present, historic tradition and contemporary life is an ongoing approach to the museum's development of exhibitions, collections, and programming. Adam Nikolowitz's celebration of the charter oak is a perfect example of making relevant connections between the past and the present, history and currency, and the urban environment and natural spaces, like the adjacent Bushnell Park, where offspring of the charter oak continue to grow. In the spirit of the City Canvas initiative, Adam's work activates and energizes a previously static downtown site. I would like to acknowledge Mary Corsi for her tireless and enthusiastic management of this complex project, which had far too many cooks. But mostly I congratulate Adam for his artistic vision on a very ambitious scale in the creation of a deceptively simple and very sophisticated work of art to be enjoyed by all. Thank you.
It's a little wobbly up here. Can everybody hear me? Hi. You're in for a treat. I just wanted you to know that. So be a little bit more patient. We want to thank an organization without whom we wouldn't have any water, Metropolitan District Commission, very important to this piece and very generous with their time. Also, the organization that is turning the switches off every night, the Hartford Business Improvement District, thanks very much to them. Max Downtown for some of the lovely food that we had. Thank you, Max. And Rich Rosenthal and company and Steve, I mean, they're just so generous with cultural organizations. Demers Exhibition Services for making things work, and also Raphael Bowden, the cellist, who is going to be was playing before and is playing after. Thank you to Raphael. Thank you to everybody. It is one of the great honors and the great treats of running Real Artways and having worked there for 22 years is the opportunity to interact with artists. And artists indeed are at the core of Real Artways' mission, a mission which has been going on for 37 years. And I'd be remiss right now if I didn't point out that one of the founders of Real Artways and the executive director for 10 years is here in the crowd. Joe Celli, why don't you say hi to everybody? Some of you remember Joe. I'm very fortunate because people will give me credit. They'll say, oh, what a wonderful job you've done at Real Artways. And I am always mindful of the fact that if Real Artways didn't already exist and hadn't been there doing strong programming for 15 years, we wouldn't be here today. That was the basis upon which everything was built. And one of the things that Real Artways has been able to do is commission and produce 30 public art projects in this city in various neighborhoods and in the downtown area over the last 22 years. And this has been a great treat to work with the City of Hartford, Christina Newman-Scott and Mary Corsi, to work with the Athenaeum and the whole team that they've brought into this, to have the support of the state, of the city, of the Greater Hartford Arts Council. But one of the things that has occurred to me as I'm looking out at everybody, that a project like this and the idea behind this project, Kip talks about placemaking, and I think that that's wonderful, and I think there's a lot to be said for it. But fundamental to places are built by people. And I look around here and I see all the people who are involved with cultural organizations, the artists, the creators, who connect with each other and make this a stronger community. And I think that this project, although it's an imaginary tree on a building, is fundamentally about people. It's about history, and it's about contemporary art. And contemporary art has a role to play that is not just about today, it's about every moment that ever was. Contemporary art is at the core of our work, and I really look forward to working with the city and working in the future to expand Hartford as a place where contemporary art and artists live. It has been such a great treat to work with Adam Niklowitz, and treat you are in for. That's fantastic. Also, I want to let you know that Real Artways also has our creative cocktail hour tonight, and that goes from 6 to 10, so it's already started without us. But you're all invited to come, and if anybody wants a free admission ticket, I've got a bunch in my pocket, so you come see me afterwards. But right now, on behalf of Patty Hickson, who's just been wonderful with the Wadsworth Athenaeum, we both would like to introduce to you the star of today's show, the artist Adam Niklowitz.
Hello. My brief speech, which I promise it will be brief, will in fact be a litany of names of the people which I need to thank, because a group of thoughtful, kind people embraced my original small idea and helped me to turn this into a large public work of art. So I want to thank Will, Susan, Kip, Mary, Patricia, Christina, Margaret, John, Erica, Alan, Tam, Marty, Don, Liz, Tamara, and last but not least, J.D. Ritchie. J.D. Ritchie, a fine painter, helped me tremendously, and as it happens, he is opening his own show next door in this very building at Theatre Works, and I could not be more encouraging for you to please do come and see his wonderful, powerful offering. Special thanks to Theatre Works folks who were very welcoming, and also to the US Army for their manpower. When we needed to move our lift, they really helped us tremendously to reposition it several times. So I thank you all. Thank you so much.
That's it. And now I think we are going to announce the mayor, Will, Patty, and Kip are going to be setting the water off.
We see JD up on the roof. How about a hand for JD? Here we go.